People are going to need to know why. Hey everybody, I'm Scott D. Medlock. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk a little more about the K-shaped economy and some of the things that got us there. Today specifically, I'm going to bring on a guest, and his name is Ross Perot. Now he's not a present guest, but he was a guest as a candidate in the 1992 election debate, and I'm going to have that right here for you. He's going to tell you about what happens if we bring in NAFTA, which is a North America Free Trade Agreement. If we bring that into effect, and what would happen in 12 to 15 years down the road. So hold tight here while I get this ready for you, and give a listen to what Ross has to say.
To those of you in the audience who are business people, pretty simple. If you're paying $12, $13, $14 an hour for factory workers, and you can move your factory south of the border, pay $1 an hour for labor, hire a young 25, that's assuming you've been in business for a long time, you've got a mature workforce. Pay $1 an hour for your labor, have no health care, that's the most expensive single element in making a car, have no environmental controls, no pollution controls, and no retirement, and you don't care about anything but making money, there will be a giant sucking sound going south.
If you don't care about anything but making money, there's going to be a giant sucking sound going south. He was 100% right. I'm not sure how many of you all were around back then. I'm not sure how many of you are Republican or Democrat. This fellow was independent. And let me tell you, he was right. He was 100% right. And then he's got a little bit more to say, so let me get you into that.
So if the people send me to Washington, the first thing I'll do is study that 2,000-page agreement and make sure it's a two-way street. One last point here. I decided I was dumb and didn't understand it, so I called the who's who of the folks who've been around it. And I said, why won't everybody go south? They said, we'll be disruptive. I said, for how long? I finally got them up for 12 to 15 years. And I said, well, how does it stop being disruptive? And that is when their jobs come up from $1 an hour to $6 an hour and ours go down to $6 an hour, then it's leveled again. But in the meantime, you've wrecked the country with these kinds of deals.
In the meantime, you've wrecked the country with these kind of a deal. Well, what happened 15 years later? 2007, 2008, we had the huge market crash, and we had the housing bust, and right here in the St. Louis area, we had manufacturers leave, and the biggest one being Chrysler. When they left and moved to Canada, 6,000 jobs total were lost in our regional area. So yeah, I would say he was pretty well right whenever NAFTA had that giant sucking sound, and they sucked all of our manufacturing out and left people and whole communities reeling. So it's no wonder why we have this K-shaped economy. We've been dealing with it inch by inch, dollar by dollar for the last 50 years. So then what? Then where does that bring us to? We go from 1971 until 2026. That's not the only event that caused our K-shaped economy, but it was a major opportunity we had to make different decisions. One of the things that I think about today, and I understand where the man's coming from, is what Donald Trump, Mr. President Donald Trump, said during his inauguration address. And let me play that for you because he gets a lot of flack, and I understand why. Just listen to what he says right here.
The golden age of America begins right now. From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
He said a lot right there, and not just the words of the golden age of America, not just put America first, not just about the MAGA stuff, but listen, think about it in context like this. What happened in 1992? Who did we put first in 1992? Actually, 1994, whenever Bill Clinton signed the NAFTA agreement in. Who did we put first? We put Canada and Mexico first, ahead of our country. We put them first. We put the world first ahead of our own abilities and our own resources and our own growth. Yeah, we still grew. The country grew. Businesses grew. But the people didn't. We were left behind. And that's what he's talking about right here. We will put America first. We will put civilians first. Now, we haven't got there yet, and I know there's a lot of people out there that's upset. They're like, oh, this ain't no golden age. Well, you're right, but things have to be rebuilt. He's already brought in, $18 trillion worth of new companies? How many billions and trillions of dollars of companies left? We've got a lot of rebuilding to do, and we're going to have to do it with somebody, and it isn't any other politician, Democrat or Republican, that's going to do it. And so that's where I look at, how the K-shaped economy came to where it was. Well, it came to be there because our politicians did not put us first. They didn't. And then we, you and myself, we are the ones who bore the brunt of that. We are the ones who in 2008 lost jobs. We are the ones that have to deal with all the nonsense that goes on because of the global fighting over who's got the greatest economy and who's going to be joining in with the global trade agreements and all this other stuff. Why do you think he's rewriting all these trade agreements? Because they're lopsided. They're one-sided. They're only good for the other countries. They're not good for us. There's no way they're good for us. They make our jobs go overseas. When we level a platform and we start making these other countries pay tariffs, it gives businesses the incentive to put their jobs back here where Americans can work. We have to have that. There's no other choice. If we keep going the way that we are, the economy's going to get so bad that the lower end of folks ain't going to have nothing. Nothing at all. And so that's something that you need to think about. I get it that, you get mad about a Republican or you get mad about a Democrat, and it's not about that. It's about America first. It's about who is going to put the people first, who is going to be a galvanizer that's going to start changing things so that what we can do as people is begin to rebirth our country. We can begin to bring back a renaissance of the golden age that we had that followed World War II. A lot of people don't understand that because so many times people right now are so busy playing on their phones and doing different things and watching the TVs and the movies and just doing everything except for paying attention to what's going on. That's what we have going on. What we have going on is businesses are completely slanted against the American worker. They pay them the absolute minimum wage they can get away with, and then if they can't do that, then they send the jobs overseas. That isn't right. That's not the American way. We got away from doing things the American way. I just wanted you all to think about that for a minute.